bipartisan agreement on President Biden's latest massive spending plan dead in the water. The White House lowered the price tag by $600 billion, but Senate Republicans say the latest $1.7 trillion counteroffer is still too high. Former House Oversight Chair, Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz with us now. Jason, how you doing? Interesting piece at foxnews.com. We'll get to that in a moment. Dana and I were talking about the critical question. This is what I believe. In American politics, over the next 18 months, how much of the Democratic Biden agenda can be passed? Your witness.
Well, they're spending a stunning amount of money. I mean, people forget we have a almost $4.5 trillion base budget. 75% is mandatory programmatic spending. Then you have the COVID relief packages that have passed, plus the 4 that happened under Donald Trump. And now they come back and say, oh, we want $2+ trillion. Oh, we'll cut that back to $1.7 trillion and seem like we're reasonable. But we've been to this rodeo before, Bill, when in 2009 they passed a $787 billion supposed infrastructure bill. And it was chock full of waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, that's where we got Solyndra and all this other garbage out of it. So to me, as a conservative, I want to starve the beast. I don't want more government. So they're going to try to pass as much money as they possibly can. And they are doing a stunningly good job of getting a ridiculous amount of money out there.
But Jason, okay, check this out. So Republicans could actually agree more on what they define as actual infrastructure, roads, bridges, et cetera, because there was a lot of other things in this bill. In their new proposal, the Biden team is willing to reduce its request for $159 billion that would go to roads, bridges, and major infrastructure projects down to $120. So they're cutting out the stuff that Republicans actually might be able to agree with.
The stuff that's actually infrastructure? Yeah, the stuff that actually is. But you know what? Democrats don't want more roads, bridges, and highways. They don't, because they believe if you drive less, that's better for the environment. So their green agenda is in total contradiction to an infrastructure bill. But they know that the only way the American people will swallow this is if they think it's for transportation.
Right.
Jason, you got a piece at foxnews.com. Here's your headline. You ready? Biden's COVID relief, I think you're talking about March, $1.9 trillion, right? Here's how you can track the waste, fraud, and abuse in U.S. and abroad. So here are a few items that you found. Did we buy scuba gear in Uruguay? Did we spend $363 million for the USS Boise, an attack submarine? $600,000 for 2 gazebos at Gitmo? $24 million, is that right, for Syria to encourage hand washing?
Yep.
Is that right? $180,000 for ejection seat repairs in Gabon, and $5 million in Russia for civil society grants. Is this real or fake news?
Well, this is real. If you go to pandemicoversight.org, the Inspector General has done a good job there. And my work with the Government Accountability Institute, we start diving in under the hood. I'm one of those geeky guys that actually reads these reports. The Biden administration will tell you, oh, you know, this is all needed for COVID relief and we're going to give it back to the American people. No, it's not. You're spending $600,000 on 2 gazebos at Gitmo. 2 gazebos. You're spending money on scuba gear, and I think Bernie Sanders and AOC would be a little surprised that their $1.9 trillion spent $363 million on an attack submarine for our United States Navy. That didn't go to COVID relief. They spent $180,000 for an ejection seat on an airplane in Africa. So don't tell me the cupboard's bare and that we're doing everything we can to help the Americans reopen and get back on their feet. There's a lot of waste and crap out there.
Well, keep an eye on it and keep us posted. I'm glad that you read that. I'd like to go check it out myself.
Thank you, Jason.
The scuba gear kind of got to me.
They are really good at spending money. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks.
Mary Lou Retton, 1984, you were correct.
84.
Sarajevo.
Good year.
There you go.
She was great. Well, I recently had this privilege.